Today we're changing it up a little bit. We're actually doing Relic News with Beyond Sight and Sound, Josh Kimmel. And the guest today?
Hi guys.
Zach Byrd. Zach Byrd Adventure Hour on YouTube. So sit back, relax, enjoy the show.
All right, we are back. We're live once again. You are, in fact, listening to Beyond Relic News, I guess, in a sense you could say. Now, you're listening to Beyond Sight and Sound, metal detecting and treasure hunting radio for all those really cool diggers out there. Good Lord, there's people all over in the chat. It's jumping tonight. A lot of different geographic areas tonight. So I guess, first off, up to my north, we've got Miss Lori coming out of Canada with Relic News. How's it going, Lori?
Hey, it's going pretty good.
All right. Well, nice to see that you could make it. We certainly appreciate you sitting in with us tonight. And off my east, we've actually got the fanatic himself. How is it going, Mr. Layton? Coming to you from out of Georgia, if I remember correctly. You've seen him on Facebook. You've seen him on YouTube. It's the Zach Byrd Adventure Hour. How's it going, Zach?
How's it going, folks?
Okay. Anything to add from you, Zach?
I'm just waiting on the questions. Anybody got any questions? Anything you want to know about me? My wife, we started the official Silver Quest today. I don't know how many people follow me on Facebook, but
I saw that, the official war on silver.
Yeah, I waged war on the Mercury dime, and I got an 1865 permission. It was a house that was built shortly after the Civil War passed through Adairsville, Georgia, which is about 10 miles north of where I live, and I waged war on a Mercury dime, and I took my wife out there today, and she dug two, and I dug a buffalo nickel and a V nickel. I haven't posted the videos yet, but she stomped me, guys. She stomped me. I have found zero silver today, this year.
Which, by the way, I loved the go live that you guys did today. The couple of go lives from the field,
and as soon as she hit go live, I was like, "Oh wait a second! I can't do anything here. I'm vulnerable."
Yeah, see, live is completely different from a video creator perspective. You know, it's real time. I can't pause and edit.
I know. I rely on that heavily.
Right,
Hey,
I was going to say.
Hey, Barb in the chat, she's asking about the feral ones. My wife just shot them in the jugular with a tranquilizer dart each, so hopefully they won't wake up within the next hour. I'm hoping.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, they've almost. They usually walk those things off, but hopefully she dosed them up pretty good.
All right. Well, and that goes to show you right there. Barb's watching the videos.
Yeah.
Oh, your kids are adorable, climbing up on the vehicles, everything else. They definitely remind me of my kids.
Right. Yeah, I saw the video where yours caught the frog, and I knew right away. She knows what it's like to be about that life, you know. Having kids just chasing critters in the ditch while you're trying to film a video and running up to you with snakes in each hand. I mean,
I'm all about the critters, all about showing off the critters. Can you tell me when the very first time it was that you even saw a metal detector or even heard about a metal detector?
You would think that I would have thought about these types of questions before this started, but as a matter of fact, I've always preferred YouTube over cable, and I cut the cable cord far before I started filming videos. And I guess it was just kind of like a string of I call it the YouTube wormhole, where you just start here and then you start at A and then you end up at X, and it's really weird. Well, somewhere along that path, I can't remember if it was Aqua Chigger or Nugget Noggin. It was one of the two, and I was watching one of their videos, and they dug a button, and they were flipping out. I was like, hold on. What is so cool about a button? I was thinking why is he so excited about digging a button? Like, it's a button. And that's what triggered it, because I started researching, like, okay, what kind of button was it? And then, I mean, he said in the video, and I started looking it up, and I realized it was kind of like a curtain open to a completely different world. And once I pulled that curtain back, I immediately became intrigued because I deer hunt, I forage for mushrooms. It's like every hobby that I've ever been into has had something to do with trying to find things that are hard to find, trying to express something that's hard to express, like the rare things in life. That's what attracts me. And once I realized,
it all involves a search, a quest.
Yes, exactly. And it all my hobbies also take me away from people. So it was like the perfect kind of like cocktail. And I was like, I can get into buttons. And then I got a metal detector and I dug a button. And I was like, it was the equivalent to like shooting like a spectacular mature deer. I mean, I know that there might be some people in here that aren't like into hunting, but that's okay. I mean, I offend people all the time. And metal detecting, all it took was the first video, and I was like, I gotta get a metal detector. And I started out with an Ace 350, and I dug a lot of cool things with that, and I haven't stopped since. It's become an addiction.
So you started with the Ace 350, and what metal detector do you use today?
I have we have two AT Pros.
Oh,
and I bought that because I didn't want to not be able to go out detecting in the rain, and I also wanted to be able to get into the creeks and rivers and things like that.
Nice. Because
I know a lot of people are kind of disheartened by water moccasins and copperheads, and I mean, I know so many people that won't even swim in a creek. So I was like, well, that's going to cut like a majority of the metal detecting community out right there, and that's going to lower the competition. Yes, cottonmouth.
That's right. You may not have heard of them up there, Lori.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably a lot of people in here in the chat or listening that will say that they'll chase you. They won't chase you. They're like baby deer. They'll just lay there, open their mouth up, and you can step right over them. They won't bite you. But I know a lot of people are terrified of snakes. I know Heath Jones is terrified of snakes. But I mean, copperheads, water moccasins. I have so many videos on my channel of us walking up and filming these little critters. I mean, don't let them bite you. I don't handle venomous snakes, but I mean,
okay. How do you
snakes.
How do you keep your kids away from them?
I let them get it as close as they can without getting bitten. Like we have videos of my daughter, like I have her by her hair and she's like trying to get to the cottonmouth, or no, not the cottonmouth, the copperhead. I mean, and like my kids are crazy, man. They're but I try to show them like what they can do without dying and what they shouldn't do or they will die. And that they know at this point, especially my daughter, she knows which snakes that she can approach and grab by the tail and which ones she shouldn't.
And once you got the AT Pros, did you notice maybe from using your Ace 350 to using the AT Pros, did your number of finds increase or the number of quality finds increase?
It's kind of hard to say because the VDI numbers are a double-edged sword, I think, because I think that once you start using a machine with VDI numbers, you almost become a little complacent. You rely on the numbers too much, and the Ace 350 all you have are those tones, and yeah, you have that little graph, but I mean, once you swing it long enough, you just start just listening to the language of the machine, and I think that, I don't know, unless you just sit down and tell yourself before you start digging, I'm going to dig every signal I get above 30 or above 35. VDI numbers, they can stab you in the back.
Nice.
And unless like I said, unless I just tell myself, all right, you're going to dig usually about 39. If I'm like at a home site and there's a lot of nails in the ground, a lot of iron, 39, if I can make myself dig every solid signal above 39, I will find things that normally I would just skip over, especially like if I'm out in the woods, detecting like a Civil War camp or a skirmish site. Then you can kind of go through there and cherry pick, not unless you're looking for iron objects like bayonets and shells and stuff. Which when I'm relic hunting, I try to dig every substantial signal. If it's coming in strong or deep, I'll dig it.
That's a huge difference, and to the point that once you get to know your machine so well, you can tell about the little differences in tone. So you know if it's a bent nail or the tip of a nail or versus a silver, So also that sort of stuff. Zach, what would you say that has been your biggest challenge in metal detecting so far?
Trying to keep my kids from dying while they're out with us.
Love it.
I mean, for real.
Completely get it.
My kids have an unnatural lack of fear, especially my son. I mean, he has no sense. He has no sense, and he will just. It doesn't matter if it's winter time. He'll decide he wants to go swimming. My daughter, she's flipping over logs. She's trying to herp like I do in rattlesnake country. I have to keep my eyes on them every second. I mean, and that's the biggest challenge. It's rough. It's rough out there with the kids. Yeah, and subconsciously, I think that's kind of why I take the kids out looking for reptiles and amphibians, because I want them to know a copperhead from like a northern water snake. I am certain that she would not just go out and pick up a copperhead. She would know better. My son, on the other hand, I got to watch him because he wants to play with anything that's moving. Matt Purdue asked earlier, when is Diggin Britt coming back to the scene? Let's see.
Yes. I was gonna ask about Digging Deb, right? It's
yeah,
Digging Deb.
He said, when will Detecting with Debbie be back? I don't know. We'll just have to see. I know we were gonna do a Christmas giveaway. She had a pair of whitey tidies that were lightly used that she was going to give away, but our schedules didn't line up. Yeah, so sorry about that. You guys missed out.
Oh my god.
Well, can't win them all, I guess.
So are we going to be seeing Digging Deb again?
Oh, for sure. She only owns like swimming attire. She doesn't own any winter wear, so.
I have a question for you. Really, where did you find that T-shirt?
It was almost as if the relic gods just led my wife to the appropriate Dollar General. I said, I need a wig. But my wife never knows what to expect with me. I said, I need a blonde wig. I need some cutoff shorts. And I need a shirt. I said, those shirts that you put on and then it looks like a wife in a bathing suit? She said, no. And then I was like, it's a shirt and it looks like a wife in a bathing suit. I guess repeating it twice made her it click. And she's like, oh yeah. I was like, I need all of those. And she went to a Dollar General and she found everything except for the Daisy Duke. She took an old pair of mine, cut them off, and that is how Debbie came into existence.
So you've got a bit of a wardrobe department for the videos.
Yeah. We have it framed in our living room. It's just hanging above the television. Debbie, the Diggin Britt, I had no idea the channel was out there, and just like Nugget Noggin or Aqua Chick or whichever video it was that got me into metal detecting popped up in the recommended videos. One of her videos popped up, and Amanda was sitting next to me on the couch, and I looked over at her, and I said, what is this? And I clicked on it, and within minutes, I was like, this is like low-hanging fruit. This is satirical gold. I could not believe that there was no one out there that had made a parody of that. And I was so inspired by her lack of detecting skills and in the haphazard cinematography. I was like, the next day at work, I sat down and I wrote like a 3-page script. I mean, and within a week, we had everything rocking and rolling, and we had the video made, and then it was just a matter of editing it. Yeah. Well, I also don't want to be the person known for the digging down and dirty with Debbie. I don't want to be like. I just did that because I had to. I mean, that's somebody else should have already done that by now. And I saw it and I was like, well, this has to be done. But I just want people to know that, like, somebody saying Farming Britt, I had no idea about that. Swansea, no. I just like, but yeah, I just want people to know that I do make serious detecting videos. I think that kind of when I put that video out, like, people are like, oh, that's the Diggin Britt, that's the Down and Dirty with Debbie guy. No, I put a lot of time into my detecting videos, and I'm a serious metal detectorist. And like, me and my wife and the kids, we get out and we hit it hard, unless it's deer season. If it's deer season, I have a little hiatus. But whenever I can't hunt deer, or whenever I can't bass fish, I am metal detecting really hard. So I hope that people. I just don't want to be remembered for the guy that made a Diggin Britt spoof, you know.
And when he's not hunting deer or bass fishing or detecting or hunting mushrooms and this and holding down the job and all of that, then he's editing.
I post herping videos, hunting videos, fishing videos, and I have a playlist that kind of just like family stuff, where we go out and just explore and hike and stuff. But I would say 80% of my videos are metal detecting for Civil War relics, metal detecting in the water for Civil War relics. And as of this past week, my wife and I have started going after like silver coins. Like, we have waged war on the Mercury dime.
Now, how long have you been detecting?
It's been under 2 years.
Would you say
Okay.
Would you say that metal detecting changed your family life?
Well, what metal detecting did for me is it was kind of like an appendage. It was a hobby that kind of gave the family and I something to do when there really isn't anything to do, and that's why I got a metal detector. But it grew out of that like little niche that I gave it. I thought it was just this is something that I can do when it's cold outside, or no. I go all year long. I mean, and I said that when deer season's in, I don't metal. That's not true. I metal detect during deer season. I never thought there would be something that I would do over deer hunting, but sometimes I just have to go detecting. It has become one of those things where, like, you get the itch for it. You know, you're like, I have not dug anything in like a week. I've got to go detect them.
So once you got into the hobby, what was that find that just clinched it for you, where you're like, oh yeah, it's on. I'm hooked now. I'm never getting away.
Skeleton key.
And a view.
And I dug it with the Ace 350, and it is in immaculate shape. And I dug it before I started filming. And I mean, the Ace 350 sounded like R2-D2. I mean, it was just, and I dug it up, and it was just one of those things where you just put it in your pocket and you go home. You're like, I'm not going to beat that today. And I took it to my wife, and she almost fainted, and now she has it as a necklace.
It's a gorgeous one. Absolutely nice. Gorgeous. It's a big key. Besides your Mercury dime, is there anything else that you really want to find, or anything else that's eluded you over the 2 years that you're saying, hey, why didn't I find this yet?
Everything.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I really want to dig a US buckle or a CSA buckle. I mean,
you're in a good spot.
I think that's on everybody's list, though. Even if they're not relic hunters, that's just one of those things that you hold up there above all else. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that. Now that I'm getting into coins a little bit, I need to research like what the white whale is of those. Like whether it's like a trime or a half cent. I don't know enough. I'm uninformed when it comes to coins. I don't know like what is like. Heath Jones told me that 1886 Morgan dollar that I dug in the creek. He said that it was the equivalent as far as coin hunting goes to digging a U.S. plate. I'm not sure if that's true. Maybe some people will give their chat.
Yeah, they don't come up very often. That is definitely a commendable find.
I don't know much. I didn't know much about it when I found them. I was just like, holy crap, this is a big old silver coin. But I wasn't informed, so I'm not going to say it took away from it, but it would have meant a lot more had I been informed, if that makes sense.
Right, kind of. If I had realized what it was when I found it, other than just kind of generalizing it as an old silver coin, it may have had a little more impact to me.
Yeah, at that point, it might as well have been pirate treasure because it was just some foreign looking piece of silver with dates on it. I knew. Now I'm kidding a little bit. I mean, I knew that it was an American coin, but
right.
I didn't know enough about it. I mean, it might as well have like skull and crossbones on it.
Did you find, like, when you first got into the hobby almost 2 years ago, did you envision yourself as a coin hunter or a relic hunter, or just, I'm going to go out and find whatever, and then you transitioned, or?
When I bought a metal detector to detect old home sites, I mean, for sure. And actually it was the Morgan, I think it was the Morgan dollar that really digging like a block eye button and digging a silver barber quarter. Those are two different feelings, but it's different feelings. Like when you dig a piece of silver, that's a different feeling than digging something with the Civil War. Different images come to mind. Like when I dig a button, the scene starts playing out for me. To having a date, an American date on it, that gives it significance. But it's also, you just start, like, I don't know about everybody out there, but whenever I find a piece of silver, the first thing that comes to my mind, because I live in Georgia, is holy cow, that guy lost his paycheck. Because
right, that was a lot of money.
Yeah. Like when I dug that Morgan, I keep saying that I dug that Morgan dollar. I located the signal on a crack of bedrock, and I thought it was going to be a really thin piece of eroded wire. And it was my birthday. We had one AT Pro. I was running the AT Pro. My dad was running the pinpointer. We were in the creek. And I got a very faint 90 signal. That's because it was on edge in a bedrock crack. And I told my dad, I said, this is probably going to be an eroded piece of wire. I said, but dig it anyways. And when he pulled that out, it blew my mind.
Oh, well, so this was a father-son effort.
Yeah, on my birthday. On my birthday.
A very memorable occasion and find for you, I'm sure, and an experience that you were able to enjoy with your father. So he actually gets out and hunts with you then.
Oh, yeah.
Would you say that was your most memorable hunt?
Yeah, it is. It is. As a relic hunter, it's weird. It's weird saying that Morgan dollar hunt was my most memorable, but so many things just fell into place that day. And that's something about detecting. It just seems like that happens a lot. Things just kind of fall into place, and like something tells you to go this way instead of that way. Or I don't know. I don't know if it's like some kind of intuitive function. But
right, like an outside force is guiding or something.
Yeah, and I don't really think that there's an outside force guiding it, but it's just kind of weird. I find it curious how often it happens. Something just kind of I'm not sure if it boils down to like just the lay of the land or intuition is such a strange thing. Like there's so many subtleties around you that happen on the subconscious level that kind of steer that compass needle. But
right,
it just seems to happen a lot in metal detecting. I think that it's kind of like when I grew up deer hunting from a very young age, and somewhere along the way, someone told me, don't ignore like the old deer stands you see in the woods. I mean, sometimes it's just one board left on the tree. They say don't ignore that. And the reason, and now that I'm older and I look back on it, I understand it completely. It's because deer are deer, and they're going to follow the lay of the land, and so are people. People are going to follow the lay of the land, and the old timers back in the day, they understood geography, and they understood saddles on ridges, and just, I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, but the old people that hunted deer back in the day, I mean, they were hunting for different reasons most of the time. I mean, they were hunting to put food on their table, and you can go to the grocery store now, but a lot of people say, "Oh, that's just some old guy. He probably didn't know anything about deer hunting." He probably knew more about deer hunting, and it really does boil down to geography. I wrote an article in American Digger. I think it was published 6 months ago, maybe. And I talked about and I talked about pulling up to certain properties. Even I mean, sometimes it wasn't even to metal detecting. My daughter would ask me, "Hey, Daddy, were the troops here?" And that's how much it had permeated her little mind, you know, like, were the troops here? That's the first thing that, I mean, I think that you, especially in today's world, you have to make your kids get outside, because this world, there are so many distracting things on. I mean, the internet has changed everything. I would hate to be a kid right now, because I would probably be some introverted gamer that just does nothing but play video games and just erodes over the course of a few years.
What would you say that you love the most about the hobby?
The chase. Just, I mean, it's like every signal is like Christmas morning. You don't know what it is. You know, I mean, it's addicting.
So it's that big reveal.
Yeah. And am I alone in that? I mean, like, that's what it is. Not at all. I mean, that's the way it is for many of us. I mean, we make that find, and it's like, oh, I got something, but what is it? And you clear the dirt away, and it starts to, you know, you start to make that recognition, and oh, that is so cool. Okay, now it's on to the next one. What else can I get? But if it's let's say it's a, I don't know, like a piece to a pocket watch or something, I get excited, but I get more excited if it's something that I had to research. Like if I put like 10 or 12 hours of just like reading diaries or journals, looking at maps, overlaying maps, and the hardest part, getting the permission once you're like, okay, right here is where it's at. And then getting permission on that piece of land, going out there and getting a good signal, and then finding something, then that feeling is just like, I don't know, that feeling you get when you see the green patina from the brass in the hole, or the silver shine of a coin rim. I mean, the research really like boosts that feeling up.
Do you find it easy to ask people for permission?
Well, I don't really, I've never really had trouble. I know I act like I have trouble knocking on doors, but I really don't. I mean, somebody can slam the door in my face, cuss me out, and it doesn't bother me sometimes. Sometimes it does. Sometimes I get a little aggravated. I mean, like two or three videos back, there was a guy, Amanda had knocked on a couple doors, or she had knocked on a couple doors, or no, I had knocked on one door and I got cussed out pretty much. And she knocks on one door and like, oh yeah, come on, you can come on up. I mean, there's something to that. I told her I'm not knocking on any more doors. I'll get Diggin Britt out, or Diggin Debbie out here if I have to. What it is about me.
You notice that it's easier to get permission maybe if Amanda goes up to the door.
Yeah, I'm gonna start sending Silas up there. I'm gonna start sending my son up there. He's only 3, but how could you turn that down? But probably not. I went up to a house in a downtown, and I had my son on my hip, and like because he had been eating Oreos and playing in the dirt. I mean, he looked like a garbage pail kid, and I said, yeah, me and my wife were just we were wondering if we could do some detecting in your field, and he just looked at me, and I don't know how long the pause was. But, I mean, it felt like a good 10 minutes. But he just looked at me, and he said, no, absolutely not, and just shut the door. And I was like, I looked at Silas, I said, this is all your fault.
might be one of those situations where it's like, okay, note to self, next time.
Yeah, for sure. Like make sure you like put your kids in a polo and put some hairspray in their hair and make sure they're looking clean, ready for church before you go knocking on the door with them. That's
right.
not my get up though. That's not my get up. That's why Amanda has to start knocking.
Well, that's, you got to do what you got to do to get into these places, though.
That's what I'm trying to tell her. She's coming around to it, though. I was like, listen, we have like a 75% greater chance of getting permission if you ask. Why would I go ask? She's starting to understand.
Did you find it difficult trying to capture your real personality at times?
Well, I know. I've you can ask anybody who knows me, like knows me. Like that's never been an issue. Like being myself, like I'm the type of person I will just stop making videos before like I sell out and like try to do something just to like try to convey something artificial. Like what you see is what you get. I mean, it's not something that I consciously decided. It's just how I was born. Like, for any of you guys down there in the comment section, in the chat that haven't seen my videos, I mean, you can go and watch some of my videos and you'll realize real quick that, I mean, I'm not trying to become famous. I'm doing my own thing. And like, if people like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. Well, my wife does a lot of the filming. Like all of the spectacular shots are, well, I think it's spectacular. She's my wife, but all the like DSLR B-roll footage, like she gets like 90% of that. Sometimes I'm the one getting it, but, and I love editing that into the intro. I love like, it's part of the storytelling process. And if somebody just wants to just go and see somebody like filming a hole and pulling something out, then my channel's not for them. Like I want, when someone subscribes to my channel, I want it to be like a grab bag. I don't want them to know what to expect. And I want each video in a sense to feel like its own adventure. I mean, that's what it is to us, but I don't want it to be predictable.
Well, that's why I absolutely love your channel, because you're very, very creative. And I definitely, if anybody who's listening tonight, if you haven't checked out his videos, check him out. I find you very creative. Your editing is great quality. The camera work, congratulations to your wife, is excellent. I find that I love your channel. I think
I appreciate that.
You make great videos.
Right, and a great team effort.
Absolutely.
This video, my channel would it would not be what it is if it were not for my wife. Like she is the like she's like an amateur photographer. I don't even feel right calling her an amateur anymore. I think I said that earlier when we were talking. She's getting like she's good, and I can tell her, I'm like, I'll have like a blueprint in my mind. Like I'm like the engineer of the videos. I dream it up and I'm like, hey, how about this for, and then I'll just kind of tell her my idea of the shots that I want and how I want it to like work, and she just does it. I don't even have to like.
Right, kind of like you come up with the creative concept and she helps make it happen.
Yes, exactly. So I do not want to. I don't want people to think that like, oh, this is the Zach Byrd Adventure Hour and Zach Bird's doing it all. No, hardly so. Like I mean, I like my passion is writing, storytelling through written word, and I think that videography is kind of like given me like a structure to build around, and her eye with the camera has given us something that just, I mean, I don't know. It's just it works in my eyes.
Well, if you had your opportunity to hunt with, say, a YouTube personality, or even anybody else for that matter, is there, like, people that kind of jump to the front of the mind, like, oh, now that would be so cool to invite them down or get out and hunt with them?
And I would have to say Kurt Franz and the Hoover Boys. I mean, that guy right there, I think that me and that cat got a lot in common. He seems like he has kind of the same personality type as me. If somebody says it's negativity, just rolls off his back and he just keeps doing. I honestly think that they film everything from a cell phone, and it's like one of the best metal detecting. I mean, I think that the Hoover Boys have a better channel than Aqua Chigger, Nugget Noggin, anybody else higher than them. Franz, I don't know, Brian. Sorry, man. I don't know how you pronounce it, but I mean, yeah. Not only, I mean, when you watch his show, like even if you don't even like metal detecting, you're just like, you get captivated just by the camaraderie. He cuts all the right pieces out. And I've said this in one of my other videos where I went on a huge rant about spam. But anyways, I don't know, he's just that I would like to go hunt with those guys just because like I would love to dig any coin and for somebody to whip out some Foo-Foo juice.
He's a great guy to hunt with. I can
As a matter of fact,
from experience.
As a matter of fact, like my dream like as far as like YouTube goals is to have Kurt whip out some Foo-Foo juice for Debbie. Like that's my
I'm sure he'd be all in for that.
And I'm not taking away from any of the other channels. I have so many metal detecting channels that I'm subscribed to and I love. There's so many channels that I love and I watch, and I know that I watch so many channels and I don't get to comment on them because my time.
It's hard to keep track.
Yeah. And there's a lot of good content creators out in this hobby.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And you're right, Kurt and the guys, they do a great job, and Kurt is just a master when it comes to the editing like that. He does such a good job with it. A common thing that comes up when Amanda and I are watching the Hoover Boys is I'll just look over at her and I'm like, why don't we have any people around here that just want to go detecting? Like every time I try to get one of my friends into detecting, they're like, just look at me like, what are we going to do next? You know, like, collect baseball cards. You know, it just seems like to the outside world, it just seems like the epitome of a nerd hobby. And like, if it is, I'll rock it like it's going out of style because I love it. That's the best way to look at it. Really, it is, because it's not the sport of, the old guy on a beach with a pair of knee-high socks and a Hawaiian shirt or something.
Hey, I'll hang out with that dude too.
Right. Going, if he's in my area, I'll hunt with him. Come on. All I want is a couple hunting buddies.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely it's like a introverted hobby. And, all my hobbies are for introverts. Fishing, hunting, herping, it all gets me away from the world and gets me in like some sort of, and not to sound too hippy dippy, but like it gets you into like a Zen state, where like all the stresses of the world kind of melt away, and you can just kind of just be in a place that like, there's really no other word to describe it except for Zen. That's what it is. I got bit by her first snake this past summer. It was a water snake, and it bit her, and it didn't make her bleed or anything. It was a baby. The only reason I let her hold it at her age is because it was a baby. But it did bite her, and I told her, I looked at her and I said, Charlie, you have about 2 hours to live.
You didn't.
Yeah, I promise you I did. And I let her be afraid. And then I was like, I'm just kidding. It's harmless. You're fine. Stop crying.
Oh my god.
So that's how I feel.
Wow.
That's good. That's going to make her extra careful, I guess.
Yeah.
It's good.
My sarcasm has gotten to the point now where they're like, Daddy, really? You're lying. And so I'm going to have to like reinvent myself.
Well, I'll tell you, sir, you have definitely been an absolute riot.
Well, I hope that's a good thing.
Yes. I would say the listeners were getting a kick out of things, and the way it looked in the chat there, you've even picked up a few subs.
Cool. Right on. Welcome, guys. Don't just watch a couple videos, and if you see something weird or something, just kind of digest it before you take off running. Like I said, I'm not making videos like too many folks out there, and I have a lot of.
Or just watch a few more.
Hold on.
Maybe he'll pop it.
I hear the feral children coming.
The sedatives are wearing off.
Yeah, they have woken from their slumber. Okay, maybe she lassoed them and pulled them back in. But yeah, if just let the weird stuff fly. If you don't have like a weird, twisted, cringy like sense of humor, you just ignore that. There's some detecting in there somewhere.
Right. Well, before we get on out of here, why don't you let everybody know, in case they missed the links in the promo, where they can find you?
Well, you can go. I'm on. Amanda and I are on Facebook. You can just search Zach Byrd Adventure Hour, and you can follow that. And on YouTube as well. It's just Zach Byrd Adventure Hour. I try to keep everything concise and nice and neat, like a detecting vlog at this point. Like I want people to like get to know me and Amanda and the kids and all that. It's just, I mean. And then when you're making videos like that, people either like you or they don't. And I'm good either way. But if you do like me, come on in, have a seat at the fire, and hope you enjoy your stay. Yeah.
Check them if you want. Live dangerously. Be a rebel. Check them out.
Hey, I appreciate y'all having me on, though, for real.
Well, and it's definitely been a pleasure. I'm sure Lori enjoyed it.
I had a great time. This is awesome. Now I'm looking forward to editing.
Right, yeah, trying this little experiment.
Yeah, we'll give it a try. We'll see. I am to try this out. It's cool. Thank you. Thank you for having me too, Josh.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how to fit that all in and tie it all together, if it was beyond Relic News or Relic News and beyond or what, but hey, either way, we'll make it work, by God, one way or the other.
I think we did.
What I'm talking about. If anybody came here to comment and listened in, so I just want to say thanks for doing that. And even if you just tuned in for whatever reason, whether you're just a person that tunes in every week, thanks for chiming in and commenting under this podcast.
Out of it, hang in there with us. We're going to roll some music and get on out of here. So for those who have heard the show, check him out. Zach Byrd Adventure Hour on YouTube and Facebook. Great guest to talk to, and interesting little experiment we were doing here tonight with joint effort with